Volkswagen Jetta. We happen to get this timing belt kit for about $1.30. We got a pump, tensioner, and also a belt and a little fancy sticker to make sure you label it and tell people you've done it. There's the part number. I knew that from there. There's the part number. Anyway, there we go. A couple hints I wanted to give you. So when you get access to the water pump after all the 10s, all this, all that, you will get the 310s out very easily. But when the pump doesn't move, don't be surprised. It has this weird bracket right here. And this bracket sits like this. I'm not really sure what it... I guess it keeps the dust from coming in behind the alternator. So this bracket is literally sitting in front of it. Like so. Hope you can see that. Right there, see it? And 113 millimeter holds it in. Looks like so. Goes through the hole, obviously bolts it in. That's a little trick I'm going to give you there. That's number one. And the second trick I'm going to give you is, before you start the job, when you take the top cover off, you know, that covers the belt, it'll look like so. And luckily in Volkswagens, they made this life a little simple. They got clips. So that comes off very easily. Sneak it out. Line up the timing marks. So here we go. You see the time mark right there in front of you? And you see the time mark right there. OT, right there. Mine's off a smidge, but if you, depending on the angle, I got to rotate a little and put the belt back on, just a smidge. We're doing it because the water pump was bad. So here we go, down here. Here is the trickiness. So your timing mark for the bottom is, believe it or not, it is on the crank pulley and the cover for the timing belt, which is kind of weird, but so make sure you line it up. You might actually want to leave everything together until you get the pulley off. The pulley tends to rust. You do not have to take the center bolt out to get the regular belt pulley off. But it is a job, and it doesn't like to come off too easy. I actually did it the other way, and I screwed up. Took this center bolt out. It wouldn't come, and I heated the crap out of it and finally got it out. But anyway, and then it came off. But I'm trying to show you. I mean, here, look. So here is the pulley. And if you look at the back side, where's it at? Here we go. The time marker's right there. See that little mark? And that mark, in turn, has to line up with this mark right here on the timing cover. Kind of stupid setup. You know, it is what it is. I love German sometimes. Sometimes German engineering is, you know, this little weird shit. But like I said, that pulley wouldn't come off. It was rusty as hell right here. I WD-40'd it, and I finally got it off. So we're going to pull this off one more time to make sure the keyway's lined up. But I'm pretty confident we got it back in place. But that was a little trick to give you there. Hopefully it helps somebody get it apart. So again, this is your timing cover. It sits in the car like that. Sits in the car like this, same top, bottom. And here's your pulley. And again, your pulley, this little mark right here has to line up with the little mark on the pulley. So it's going to be fun putting it back together. There's the little mark. You line them up. It's going to be fun lining back up. So just so you know, in case you pull it apart and yours doesn't have like a line, pay attention to where the nipple is on the pulley right here. Sorry, right there. Because that lines up with one of these holes. But if you can, take a little spray paint right now and just, with the bolt in the middle and these four out, spray, and it'll give you 2 dots. Or just take a hammer and a chisel, hammer and a punch, and punch that one and punch the other. Because there's only 2 holes, so it only goes back on one way. But that's your timing. If you somehow put that on crooked, and you just line this up with the opposite hole, you're not going to have your timing. See, mine, luckily, there's a little mark there, and I know where it goes. Or I guess what I could tell you is that the pin goes in the farthest, so the pin's going to go in your farthest right hole. So you're always going to have the pin here and the opening here. So dowel pin, whatever you want to, not dowel pin, but the nipple, the bump. So hope that helps somebody. Help me. This calls for like $500-600 job, but you could do it yourself. Just need some 10s, some 16s, some 19 wrenches. Pull it apart. Make sure you line it back up, stick it back together. Since I don't need everything back on, To hear this run, I'm going to stick these 2 fuel lines back on. See, I noticed I took the fuel lines off over here. Fuel lines off, evap line off, a couple more hoses, power steering pump reservoir just actually sat back. The motor mount, both motor mount, bracket and the mount. The hard one is to get the one off of the motor. One bolt you get from the bottom and the other 2 you get from the top. Put it on a jack stand and lift it up. Right now this motor is sitting on a jack stand, sitting higher than normal, obviously. So you're going to need to do things like that to get it done. Make sure you use Loctite on the water pump bolts. You don't want them coming back loose where it's at. It's, you know, underneath everything. And good luck.